So good afternoon, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me. Please, you can confirm in the chat box if you can hear me. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to today's session. Today we'll be having our risk advisory session, and this will be the very first of the risk advisory that we'll be having with our business owners here in Lagos State. And this is because of some of the feedback that we got about some of the feedback that we got about businesses, and we decided that um, it was very important for us to start up this risk advisory in order to help businesses understand the importance of risk and how it relates to their businesses. And we've brought on here today a very good professional that will be taking us through today's session. While we're here, can we all start off by introducing ourselves in the chat box? Network in the chat box, put your name, where you're participating in this session from. So this session promises to be a very interactive one and a very interesting one which you will learn a lot. So that I advise everyone to please um, get your writing materials, get everything that you've been needing beside you so that you don't miss out on any of the things that we discussed here today. So I can see Adekunle Oluwasegun. Thank you, Adekunle Oluwasegun. Welcome to today's session. So you can also, aside from putting in the chat box your name, you can also put what you do. You never can tell. You can one of the things that we encourage here at the Business Opportunity is one of the things that we encourage here at Business Opportunities is, collaboration. So you never can tell you will have someone who you can collaborate with, that might be doing something close to what you're doing, and you can come together to make great progress. So please, don't just drop just your name. You can drop what you do and where you're also participating in the session from. Thank you. So we have 11 people on here, and I'd like to crave our indulgence to please wait for 5 more minutes so that we can start off proper by 12:08. So while we wait, we can continue with our introductions in the chat box, and then we'll start proper by 12:08 while we wait for others to join. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for staying and thank you for your patience. So we can start up right now. Welcome everyone once again to today's session. Like I said earlier, today is our very first risk advisory session, and it promises to be a very interactive one, and not just interactive, a very great one which you will learn a lot about risk and how it applies to your businesses. Like I said, when I began the session, I we saw the need for this risk advisory due to the various feedbacks I've gotten from various business owners that participated in our various sessions. And we saw the need to bring up this risk advisory that will help you understand the importance and the importance of risk and how it applies to your businesses. My name is Omota Akiomi. I'm the Business Support Officer for the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, what we do is we help provide access to finance. We are not just access to finance, we also help provide capacity building opportunities for business owners here in Lagos State. So if you are a Lagos resident and you'd like to have access to finance, you can walk into any local government around you. We are in all 20 local governments, including 6 LCDAs here in Lagos State. So you can walk into any one of them, ask for the LSCTF office. Our officers there will be there and ready to attend to you. We operate a single digit loan, which is 9%. And you can, like I said, walk into any of the local governments, ask for the LSCTF office, and ask for our officers, and they'll be there to attend to you. We just like I said, we also give capacity building opportunities through our advisory sessions and our master classes, such as the one that we have today. We are having the risk advisory. We also have our marketing advisory. We have our legal advisory, our HR advisory. We have all of these advices that have been put together to help, we also have our financial advisories, and all of these advisories have been put together to help you upscale your businesses. We're not just interested in giving you these finances. What we also look to do is also to ensure that you are equipped with the necessary knowledge and the necessary tools that you need to not just receive these loans, but also apply it judiciously to your businesses and see the growth of your businesses from one level to the other. So we don't just here at the business opportunity, we give you the capacity building opportunities, like I said earlier. We also have our access to market opportunities for business owners in Lagos State. We give our business owners opportunities to access to market opportunities for various programs around Lagos State that we have access to. We help you increase your customer base and also network with other business owners in Lagos State. We also have our employability units. We have, and here our employability units, what our employability unit does is provide training opportunities for people within the ages of 18 to 35. So if you're within the ages of 18 to 35 and you'd like to acquire a skill, be it beauty, masonry, construction, all of these areas you can apply for our employability programs. If you're also in the tech space and you like, you have you are in need of workspace, this is where our Lagos Innovate team comes in. They provide you with workspace vouchers that will help ease the cost of workspace for you as a tech person. They also provide opportunities for those that have budding tech ideas that would like to grow their budding ideas and let them move from one place to the other. Opportunities to pitch to investors, and that would help you with your various ideas. We have also our Lagos Care Unit, where we give access to finance, to grant opportunities to business owners here in Lagos State. And this opportunity came up as a result of the COVID-19. We saw the effect of what COVID had on various businesses, and this initiative was brought up to help ease and cushion the effect of the COVID-19. Like I said earlier, my name is Omotayo Akiomi, the Business Support Officer for Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. And we have here with me one of our very own person. His name is Adekunle Oyeneko, who will be taking us through our session today. Now, Adekunle Oyeneko is the head of risk management, monitoring, and internal control here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Prior to assuming the role, he was a risk management officer here at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. He's responsible for defining the fund's risk management framework and establishing guidelines for developing and implementing appropriate policies and procedures. He possesses 6 years of experience across data analytics, portfolio management, risk management, and internal control and compliance. Prior to joining LSETF, he worked with Asian Microfinance Bank Limited and Crednet Technologies. Adekunle possesses a degree in economics from Backup University and a master's degree in risk management from the University of Lagos. Now, you'd agree with me that we've not just brought just anybody here, well, we brought someone who can speak to our session today. So please, can we all just, with excitement, welcome our facilitator as he takes us through today's session. Adekunle, please, you can take the floor. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Sorry, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you very much, Omotayo, for the kind introduction. So I'll be sharing my screen. Please confirm once you can see it. One minute, please. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. So thank you very much, and welcome to the very first risk advisory session. As Taya said, this is the first of its kind, and it promises to be an engaging one. It's not just going to be a one-way discussion, but it's going to be an interaction where we share ideas and where we are able to find solutions to our business problems. So let's go. Meet Bola. So Bola runs a thriving mini mart business in his neighborhood, selling essentials and consumables. You know, your normal store that we have down the street. His business is steady, his business is good. So he employs a couple of staff to help him handle his business operations. But interestingly, he's not really into the details. He doesn't like to go into the numbers and stress himself so much. He's a simple guy. So his workers help him open the store in the morning, and he comes in later in the evening or in the afternoon just to see what is going on, trusting that sales was going to take care of itself. And if you are doing business in Lagos, you know that yes, at some point it will take care of itself. So one day, his fellow friend, also a shop owner on that same street, comes and shares her own story as saying that she has discovered something. He was curious to know what she discovered. So she told him that she attended a session in LSCTF where she was trained on inventory management and how to manage her books. And it has helped her in spotting trends and avoid losses that the business could suffer. But Bola was surprised and intrigued, like, okay, this is too much stress. I just look at my store and I'm able to estimate what is there. But for me, it's shocked, wondering, how do you just look at your store and know what is there? What if somebody is taking advantage of you, or you don't even know what you have in your store or in your shop as at each point in time? But Bola just smiled and said he trusted his workers, and as long as money keeps coming in, as long as sales is being made, it's fine. No problem. So fast forward weeks later, trouble hit, and Bola noticed that the profits that he's been making consistently is beginning to shrink. What is happening? He couldn't really explain why, because he didn't have data, he didn't have any insight to what was going on. Even more surprisingly, the shelves in the store seemed full. So there were products there, but the sales numbers were not adding up. So when he finally decided to check and dig deep into what was going on, he noticed that his cashiers and other staff members had been stealing from him, replacing the goods, and the store was filled with expired goods, and the customers had noticed this and stopped coming. Meanwhile, his friend Fumi that was down the street, who carefully spotted um, issues, tracked our stock, kept proper record, kept on moving, and our business began and continued to grow and continue to thrive. So Bola stood in a store, looking into the heavens, wondering what has happened to him. And in his thought process, he thought to himself that managing risk is not about mistrust, it's about knowing your business so well that nothing catches you unawares. And if we are to be honest with ourselves, we have so many ballers in the market space where we just go to the shop, we are just interested about selling as long as the sales are being made. There's really nothing that is wrong. But this is where risk management comes in. So you ask yourself, what is risk? And why is it important to me as a business person? Risk simply is the deviation from our objective. And as business people, what is our primary objective? Is to make profit, is to make money, so that we're able to sustain our families, sustain that lifestyle that we've come to enjoy, and so that we even have monies in the bank to take care of our families, loved ones, and take care of ourselves in general. So this is why risk is very important, because the moment we do not pay attention to it, then gradually our business, our profits, our income starts to erode. So that is what risk is in a nutshell. So risk management is just a process of identifying, assessing, and controlling the different risks that the business faces, so that at the end of the day, at the end of the month, we can look at the books and say, yes, we've made a profit. So what is business risk? It just means that anything that is going to cause the business to lose money. So like our example, Mr. Bola, who didn't pay attention to the business risk that was all around him and just left everything, assuming that yes, as long as monies keep coming in, it's fine. But for us as business people, we must pay attention to every little thing, because every little event matters in ensuring that our business continues to thrive and we do not lose money like Bola did because he had a shop filled with expired products. But we can also make money in the case of his friend Fumi, who was able to expand our business. So there are different risks that faces a business. First is the financial risk. And what is that talking about? It's just saying that these are the risks that will prevent the business from achieving its objectives. And we have two major ones which speaks to us as business owners. First is capital, and this is the risk that we're not going to have enough business to continually run and scale the business. You will agree with me that yes, we need monies to be able to start off the business. Yes, we have the ideas. We want to sell rice. We want to sell beans. We want to open that supermarket. But after we've gotten these ideas, we need that capital. Secondly, is liquidity. Liquidity is speaks to we not having enough money to be able to sustain the life of the business so that we can meet our obligation on a daily basis. There are times whereby we need to pay the suppliers, we need to pay the light bills, we need to pay the landlord that has the shop, and other bills that we have to pay. So failure to have the resources to meet these needs also affects the business, because there are instances whereby we go to the market and we see a poster on a shop basically closing down the shop because of either failed dues or no compliance to a particular financial requirement. And this affects the business tremendously. The next risk that affects us as business people is a market risk. And this just speaks to the different activities that happens in the country as a whole. So if we've been following the news lately, we'll be familiar with the increase in interest rates, the increase in prices, the increase in transport, which has impacted food and different business aspects. So this risk just speaks to those individual activities, market forces that will impact the business negatively if not properly managed. Second is operational. And this is really important for us because in running the business, there are different day-to-day activities that we must carry out so that we have a successful business. So on a Monday morning, you are going to shop, you wake up, you leave the house. All those activities, step by step, are different things that can either make us have a successful business venture or not. So imagine that you've planned that, yes, based on um, your understanding and business trends and different market and realities, or a new trend that you are going to sell heavy on a particular day, and you are prepared to go to your shop as early as possible. Say it's a festive period, and unfortunately we have a heavy downpour. That is a risk that has happened that will impact your business. But how do we prepare ourselves even for such risk so that even in the event of that, we still are able to achieve our business objectives? Second is another one that we need to pay attention to is reputational risk, and this is important. In our business dealings and even in conversations, we would have heard people say, "Ah, don't buy from that person." No, if you buy from them, you'll either not get the accurate quantity of the things you bought, or they are going to shortchange you, or the way they even speak to you self. And this is just reputation going before the business. And if we hear these stories, many of us will just, no, let me not even bother, because we do not want to have that same experience. So having in mind how we treat our customers, how we treat people, also impact on the business. We will not just say, because the customer spoke to me anyhow, or I'm trying to make a quick profit, that I will just do what I need to do. Yes, in the short term, that might actually pay off. But in the long term, we'll notice that we'll have less and less customers, which will also impact us negatively. The last here is regulatory risk. And this speaks to the environment because there are different laws that guides us. First is police, taxes, other is the levies, and the different requirements we have to face in our day-to-day activities as business owners and even in our place of business. So we've looked at the risk on a broader level. So let's dig deep into what it is and make it even much more practical. So operational risk. The first I have there is supply chain disruption. So growing up, my mom used to have a shop, and she still does. So she has a capital. She wants to buy a particular brand of soft drink, which was what she was selling. She calls her suppliers to come and deliver drinks to her. She has money that she wants to use to pay for the drinks. She has customers that keep coming to ask her for drinks. But unfortunately, the supplier tells her, "Ah, we cannot come in today, or something happened at the factory, or our vehicle is broken down," and she's not able to get her product. This is a classic case of supply chain disruption because your suppliers is not able to come through to deliver the goods as at when due. And there are cases, yes, okay, you drive down or take a bus to where you're going to get your good, and there's no good available there. That just puts a risk on the business because the business and the customers are waiting for the good is not there. And if this continues over time, we'll notice that, because we'll start hearing things like, if you go to this shop, if you ask them for A, they don't have. If you ask them for this, they don't have. That one too, they don't have. At the end of the day, people just stop coming because a reputation is already built in that if you go to this particular store, you're basically going to get nothing. The next risk that also impacts our operations as business owners is equipment or power failure. So again, let's use a typical example. I'm into frozen food. I've been able to get my supplier to supply me, say, 100 cartons of chicken, another 50 cartons of fish, and different frozen food items. Yeah. And as the supplier is delivering the items, I'm packing them into my fridge or or my cold room and all that, the grade decides to take a break. That already puts a pressure on us as business people because immediately we're wondering, what am I supposed to do next? If this light doesn't come, what happens? Okay, yes, I have gen to power my business, but the cost of fuel, I have to join a long queue, and all those just put stress on the business. And at the end of the day, it impacts on how well we're able to run the business and how efficient we are as business people. Next is staffing. As we grow our business, we can't do it alone. We need people. So that's one sales boy that we employ, that one sales girl that we bring in to join us in the business. It's not just enough to bring them and say and tell them the price of Maggi is 15 naira, the price of pure water is 2 naira. We also need to train them so that they know how to speak with customers. How do they engage? Are they able to communicate in a way that the customers are engaged and they are interested in also coming back on another day? We've gone to stores whereby we have to join endless queue. But yes, we join those endless queue because we know that there's a cashier there, or the supermarket or the shop have this very nice, welcoming, cautious staff that just makes us to say, okay, yes, even if the line is as long as forever, I will stay there. So this is part of what will help us to scale our business. Next risk that we'll be looking at is financial, which just speaks to how we're able to run the monies in the business and how they impact us. First here is cash flow shortage. And this just talks to the limited cash flow we need to run the business. As we said earlier, we need capital, we need liquidity. And as we run the business, if we don't run it properly, this is going to be one of the risks that we're going to suffer. And tied closely to this is our need and our requirement to know our business. And how do you know your business? Is by looking at the data that your business is telling you. And for you to have this data, you must keep record. Yes, we are very smart people. We know at a glance, looking at the shop, we know what is there and what is not there. But it's popularly said that if the faintest pencil is better than the sharpest brain, and that is because writing things down, keeping a proper record helps us to make adequate plans and know when we need to really take actions. Second is limited access to capital. As we said, the economy has become a very, very difficult one for business owners, and credit and getting access to capital is one thing that has really been biting because of the constant increase in the interest rates by the CBN just to manage the different economics in the country. And because of this, getting access to capital has become really difficult because the interest rate is high and some of the requirements are also very high. But also, there are instances whereby we even have access to cheap credit or cheap capital at a lower interest rate, say LSCTF. But we as business owners, do we have the necessary documents to be able to access these loans? What is our business? Are we keeping proper records? Are we able to speak to our business like we know our business, not just I'm selling XYZ, but really know your business, the dynamics of the business. All this also impacts on the business and also increases the financial risk. Customer non-payment. Because many of our businesses or some of the businesses like Bola is in the neighborhood where we know ourselves. As I'm climbing the staircase or walking down the street, I greet him, I play with his children. So we know ourselves. So in some instances, we're able to give credit and say, okay, because I know Mr. Adekunle, he will pay me back, and we say, okay, he wants to buy um he wants to buy something. Oh yeah, take it. I'll pay you back, and we accept. This also puts a pressure on us because instances where Adekunle has promised to pay us back on the 25th of the month and decides to pick up a fight with us on the 24th just not to pay us back, that puts pressure on the business also. So this is a risk that we must also be on top of and continually looking on so that we do not extend credit to a lot of people and we don't have those monies back in order to restock our shop or our business. Rising interest rate, as I mentioned, under limited access to capital, because of the continual increase in the interest rates, many businesses cannot afford to go to many of these financial institutions. But it's a risk that we face as business people. But at the same time, ensuring that we have our adequate books, having the knowledge we have, also puts us at an advantage so that in the event that these interest rates are really brought down, we can take full advantage. Next, we'll be looking at is market risk, which affects us as business people because we're not doing our businesses in isolation. We're doing it with people, interacting with people, and the activities of the country also affects us. Many of the things that we used to buy at, say, 5 naira are now going to as high as 20 naira, and that's because of what is happening in the global economy. So the inflation rate, the constant increase in price of goods, the devaluation of the currency, the exchange rates, because many of our business owners, even those that produce in the country, have to import some sort of materials in order to increase their production. So this also impacts the business. And having understanding of this makes us to adequately prepare ourselves on how to position our business and mitigate some of this risk. The last one I have on this table is regulatory, which just talks to the tax policies and other changes. And for this, we just need to be on top of it, keep reading, keep getting informed, and finding ways in which we can adequately comply with this. So why is management important to us as business people? First, business continuity. We're not doing this business because we just want to put food on our table. And even if we are doing it, we want to be able to put our food on our table tomorrow, next week, next month, and even next year. So business continuity is really important. So having a risk management consciousness, having to know the business, having to ask those very serious questions helps us to keep the business continuing so that even in the case of Bola, when there's a setback, we're able to bounce back quickly and not just close shop and move on to other things or go back to our village in some cases. Market resilience. This allows us to adapt to different economic situations. Yes, as I said earlier, the economics of things in the country are really difficult, but this is when risk management is even much more important. So say we are paying attention to the news and we're not listening to the news just for entertainment or to drag a somebody or all that, but to really understand how does this news affect my business? How does the increase in the price of fuel or the decrease in the price of fuel or the increase in the price in the exchange rate, how does it really affect my business so that I can quickly position myself so that I do not lose money or I do not lose ground in terms of business. Financial stability is also a very important one. We do not want to be a business owner whereby we're having to think about how to sustain the business, how to get stock, how to restock, how to pay salaries, or we have our creditors coming after us day and night, even in our dreams, chasing us for repayment. So having this risk management insights and managing our books, understanding our sales, when are we having our major sales, when is the low peak period, what goods are fast selling, what goods are not so fast selling, understanding the seasonalities of what we are doing. All this is going to help us in making proper budgeting, proper forecasts, and knowing that okay, it's only in Christmas time I should start to stock up Christmas tree and not stocking up Christmas tree in Easter because it sounds good. But having that understanding of what is the market saying and how we are able to work with the market and ensure financial stability. Decision making. This is really important for us as business owners, as entrepreneurs, that we're not just making decisions on top of our head. As I said earlier, what will drive me as a business owner to stock up Christmas tree, Christmas lights during Easter? That means I'm not really in tune with the business environment, with the data driving the market and even the seasonalities of the market. So understanding this really helps us to understand, okay, yes, it is Easter period. Okay, this is what is needed. It is Christmas period, this is what is needed. And or it says the Muslim holidays or this holiday or any even any season that we come in, or even say the rainy season. Rainy season is typically cold, well, in some parts in some parts of the country. So selling ice block or selling cold water during this period might not actually be sustainable. But selling cold water during a very hot afternoon, it's a better business decision because you know you are going to make more sales. Competitive advantage. We are all in business. The business place is a place of competition, and the best man wins the prize. So how are we able to become better business owners so that when customers come to our shop, our business place to buy or to interact with us, they do not feel like they are troubling us, or they do not feel disrespected. Yes, we must acknowledge that some buyers can be really petty and really difficult to work with. But as business owners, we must be able to manage such situations so that that same person comes back tomorrow, not just coming alone, but with his friends, with his wife, with his children. Because the more they do that, the more we're able to sell. And competitive advantage also speaks to lenders. When we want to get loans, say we approach LSCTF for a credit facility to help scale the business, how is our business positioned? That also gives us a leverage so that we are able to assess credit and even scale the business further. So next, what are the strategies that we should look at for mitigating our risk? I've broken it down into four. First is the financial risk management. And first here that I have here is the cash flow management. It takes us back. You need to know your business. When do you sell the most? When do you sell less? Having a record book where you track every inflow, every outflow. The supplier brought and delivered some goods to you. You write it. They supplied 10 quantity of X at this amount, and you keep proper record. This is one way and the only way to ensure that we are on top of our financials. This is also very important when we also want to access credit or access loans. We just don't go to the bank or the financier and say, I want X amount because it sounds good in our ears. But we are asking for X because it is what the business actually needs. And we're able to spread it and say, based on my cash flow, I have this amount. If you give me this amount, I'll be able to do this and I'll grow my business to another level. Having that level of detail actually helps us to guard against blind spots or things that we might not even see coming at the end of the day. Because many times we would have gone really deep into the business before we start to notice. Yes, we might make 5 naira on Monday, 4 naira on Tuesday, maybe 4 naira 50 kobo on Wednesday, 3 naira on Thursday. But if we pay attention to these numbers, you can see a trend that my sales are gradually reducing. Oh, yes, money is coming in, but my sales are gradually reducing. We can only achieve this by knowing the numbers and being on top of our books. Next is budgeting and expense control. As business people, we must be able and willing to budget. Planning, okay, this is the sales I'm expecting this month. This is what I intend to do. And managing our expense. Given the economics of the country, the increasing cost of things, budgeting is really important for us as business people, as business owners. And even those that want to scale the business beyond what it is currently. Managing credit. Yes, managing credit here is two ways. Managing the credit that we give to people. Let's be cautious um, the of selling on credit. Yes, we might want to sell as quickly as possible, but let also ensure that those that we are willing to extend this line of credit to are able to pay back as and when they promised they are going to pay back. Also, managing our own credit to our financiers, the banks, or the institution that has given us credits to scale our business. It's important that we manage this also, because failure to manage this exposes us as business people to even greater risk. So imagine that we've taken a loan from an organization and we failed to pay back. This impacts the business. Yes, to us in the short term, economy is bad, I could not pay back, please. But in the event that tomorrow we need to take another facility to take the business forward or to even revive the business, we've already damaged our record in the financial institutions, and this impacts on the ability of us receiving even further credits to grow the business. The next one here is insurance. Insurance is important for us as business people. There are so many things that happens that we do not know will happen. So say I'm in a particular market and all of a sudden um, the a policy comes out, or there's a change in plan and the market needs to be demolished, or there's a road expansion and our shop has to go, or even fire or or, um, or burglary, or I'm importing my produce from the north, say I'm into pepper and I have to bring it down from the north. There are instances whereby, yes, we've prayed, we've ensured the driver is saying the car is in good, the buses or the trucks are in good condition, but something happens and our goods doesn't get to us. Insurance in these instances helps us to recover what we've lost or takes us back to that point we were before the loss happened. There will still be more sessions on insurance and how it helps us as business owners. But for now, it's just an introduction into what it is and how it can really help us as business owners. The next strategy here is business volatility and economic uncertainty. And here is speaking to how can we diversify our revenue. Yes, as a business person, I can start off selling only tomatoes, but as I understand the business, I begin to look at, okay, let me add onions to what I'm selling. Let me add uh, other different cooking condiments or requirements, so that if Adekunle comes to buy pepper, he's also seeing onions, he's also seeing crayfish, he's also seeing ugu. At your shop only, is able to get all these cooking ingredients. That way, we've been able to diversify our one source of revenue, which was pepper, to other source of revenue. Next one is be current. Here I wrote read and watch the news. It's important for us as business people to know what is happening. And before anything happens, there's always that filter in the news. Either um, they said this is going to happen, or I heard this, I heard that, or I saw this in the news, or government is saying that. All these really are very important for us as business people, because we're able to pay attention to say, okay, if the government does X tomorrow, what is the impact on my business? What do I need to quickly do today so that if that happens, I'm still safe? So, for example, if we've gotten wind of there's a possibility of our particular streets where our shop is to be demolished because they want to extend the road, we start to prepare, okay, which areas can I start to look for a shop? Okay, what are they saying? Where is the road going to get to? If I need to shift my shop backwards, I start to plan to do that. All these things helps us so that in the event that demolition now happens, we are already ahead of the game. We're not going to lose anything, but we'll be safe and able to continue our business. Next strategy here is building resilient businesses. I spoke about our suppliers earlier, and one thing that we can do here is to have multiple suppliers. Like my mother, instead of just relying on just one supplier for our product, why about having two or three suppliers? Whereby if I call the first person and is not able to give me the product, I look for the next person, the third person, and even the fourth person, as the case might be. And this helps us in building that business reliance, whereby no matter the time of day that a customer comes to ask for a product, it is readily available for them to buy and for us to transact. And it impacts our reputation because, again, they come and they ask for a product, they'll tell their friends, if you want to buy X, so just go to that shop any day, anytime they have it. And that helps us grow our business. Staff management. This is important for us as business people, even if we don't have staffs right now, it is important for us to pay attention to it so that I learned my slide is not moving, so I'll just stop sharing so that I can share it again. Sorry about that. So let me just share it again. Okay. I'm hoping it's better now. So Tayo, please can you confirm it's better now? Is it moving now?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's
Okay.
better now.
Thank you very much. So, I was speaking to staff management, and I was saying that as business owners, whether we have staff that are working with us or we don't, we'll scale our businesses, which should be the goal of every business owner, to scale your business whereby you are not just a small shop down my street, but you are a big store that everybody in that street and even the streets after and 2 streets away are coming to buy things from. And if we are to scale at this magnitude, we will need people. It's important for us to be able to manage people. And as I said earlier, it's not just to employ them and tell them the prices of things, but give them the appropriate training that they need. Training in terms of how to sell, how to even speak to customers. Even when customers are rude and not behaving appropriately, how do our staff relate with them? This is really very important for us as business people so that at every point in time, our staff are a good representation of the business. We've seen stores whereby the staff wear um, clothes, branded shirts of the business they are working for. And many of these staff wear these branded materials from their homes to the store. So as they are walking down many streets and entering buses and crossing roads, people see them. So even without your staff speaking, they're already selling your brand. After doing all this work, these same staff should not now be the ones that will send them out of the store when they eventually come in. So it's important for us to pay attention to this. The last I have here as a strategy for us as business people is business continuity and crisis management. And the first I have here is developing a contingency plan. Yes, as business people, we must have not just only plan A, but as many alphabets as we can accommodate. And it's important because, yes, like like the woman selling pepper down my street that started only with pepper and added over time, added onions, added more things. It just tells us that in the event that, say, there's a crisis with tomatoes and nobody they can't get it, she has other produce that she's selling, which will still keep bringing income to her. So it's important for us as business people to look at what supplementary goods can we bring in so that if there's any issue with one supplier, I can get another supplier. So, say for example, I'm selling consumables, say milk, for example. I should not just decide to say, okay, because I like a particular brand or because a particular brand is easier to get, I'm just only going to stock that particular brand. That is going to put the business at a higher risk because in the event that something happens to that brand, we're out of business. So it's important for us to be able to diversify and have contingency plans. Lastly, I have building emergency funds. Yes, in some of my interactions, I've heard business people, even when we speak, when trying to collect loans from business owners, you hear things like all the money has gone into the business, all the money has gone into the business. This is good for us to have all the monies going back into the business, but it's important for us as business people to also have emergency funds. So let's say let's call it savings. So yes, you have 2 naira in your account. 1 naira goes to the business, 1 naira still stays with you, just for an emergency. In an emergency might not actually mean a bad thing in this instance. So, say for example, I have 500,000 in the account. I've invested 250,000 to buy goods that I'm selling on a normal day. Then I get wind of a new business or a new product coming that is really selling and really thriving. If I do not have that extra 250 in my account, that business opportunity is going to pass me by. So having this emergency fund in my account gives me the opportunity to say, okay, there's a new business. Yeah, let me quickly plug into it, buy the product, quickly sell it, and have profits or have revenue from that extra source of business that I'll be able to take full advantage of. So emergency here doesn't mean negative thing in that sense. It's just having enough money so that we can take full advantage of opportunities as they arise as business people. So, last words from me. Given the current economy and the hardship in the country, because many will say, okay, how do I manage X, Y, Z given the pricing and all that? First, I would say, let's strengthen our cash flow and cost management. Let's cut unnecessary expenses. And if we look at our books and we notice that this particular good is not fast selling, if it is taking us a long time to sell a particular good, then it's time for us to start to gradually wind down on that product or that good and look for what is fast selling, because there are instances where we bought a good for 5 naira and prices have moved so high that we can't even afford to buy them anymore. And that's because it has moved really fast. But if we invest in fast selling good and high turnover products, whereby if I buy today, I can go back almost close of business today to buy again, I'm going to be able to manage my costs, even manage the increase in price so that I do not run out of business. The next strategy here is negotiate contracts with suppliers. Um, while sitting down in my mother's shop sometimes and just watching her do her business, there are times she will tell the supplier to supply her in bulk and they are able to negotiate a better price because she's buying it in a larger quantity. Yes, we'll say, where is the capital to do this one? But preparing our books ahead and having the necessary documents and our books intact would actually open the door for us to get such funding. So say, okay, yes, I want to buy, say, 100 cartons of a particular product. Instead of me buying it two cartons or 10 cartons, I want to buy 100. And if we buy that because of economics of scale, we're able to get at a reduced cost or at a discount. There are also instances where suppliers can say, okay, I will give you the good upfront, pay me at so period in time. Again, all these are really important for us to thrive and grow our business in these times. But hinged on all this is having a proper record to be able to scale and take full advantage. Next here is diversify your revenue. As I spoke about our pepper seller over and over again, we can't just say we are selling only one thing and that is all. We need to find other things that are complementary and also have enough reserve so that we can quickly diversify into new opportunities as they come in. Adjust pricing and cost. I know pricing is a very hot topic because we will say, if I buy it at this amount, I must sell it at another amount to make a profit. And we now have a battle between, do you want to make a high profit, or do you want to make a quick turnover, make it a good profit? I would always advise that we make a good profit at a very high turnover, because that way we're able to keep going back to the market to get to restock, and we're able to manage the growing prices much better. But if we decide to just charge our very high prices, or keep adjusting our price to the current realities, as even though we've not sold, then in the long run, people will just gradually stop buying or patronizing us, because it's now really difficult for us, for the market to buy from us. Optimize inventory, avoid overstocking. Yes, I know I mentioned buying in bulk, but also avoid overstocking. Buying in bulk would mean, okay, what we are buying in bulk is a very high and fast moving item, which is why I wrote that also sell more of fast moving items. Buying in bulk of fast moving items would help us to save costs, one, and also make good profits and increase our turnover, so that at every point we keep calling our supplier, supply me, and we keep growing the business. So if we are going to manage our inventory, again, we must understand the business, understand the seasons that we are in. It's really important for us as business people to understand the business. And I think the first rule of business, and of business analyst for every business owner, is to understand the business. It's to know the seasonalities of the business, as we've said earlier, understanding each aspect of our business and how it impacts on the profitability of the business and the sustainability of the business. We do not want to run a business for one day and close down the next day and go to our village the other day. We want to be able to continually do this business for as long as we can. And in some instances, we want to even give it to our children to continually thrive and grow these businesses. Next, I have manage debt and financing wisely. There is something called being over leveraged, and it means that taking more than you can chew. It's like a child trying to chew more yam than his mouth can take. That is basically what it is for credit. At some point, we are going to get choked, which will also affect the business. So we must prioritize our cash flow to minimize borrowing. If the business doesn't need to borrow, the business doesn't need to borrow. But if there's an opportunity to borrow, then we'll seek out low interest rates options. LSETF comes to mind, or other opportunities that are out there that can help us as business owners to scale our business. Maintain and maintain our customer and market relevance. Customer is key. If we open our shop as early as 5 a.m. and close the shop as late as 12 in the midnight, and no customer comes to buy or comes to ask what we are doing, then we've not done anything. So at the end of the day, we want to ensure and enhance our customer value. Selling quality products. If I'm a pepper seller, my pepper must be fresh. If I'm a meat seller, my meat must be fresh. If I'm selling canned products, what is the expiry date on those products? How clean is my shelf? All these things really matters in ensuring that people keep coming back to us to buy from us. Invest in digital marketing. Gone are the days whereby my mother just has a shop in one street and she thinks the whole world is going to know what she's selling. Now, all she needs to do is put up WhatsApp and business and continually put content on our WhatsApp status or our different social media handle, and people know, you are selling this, okay, I want to buy, and they buy from her. Even different cities, all she has to do is transport it to them, and with that, she's able to scale her business even beyond what she would have thought imaginable so many years ago. Adapt to changing demands. I know that as business people, change can be really difficult. This is what we've known, and it's difficult for us to pivot to other business ideas. But as business people, we must be flexible enough to say, okay, yes, this is changing, so we need to change. We, if we think back to stories and news we've had, there are many products that we knew about, say 5 years ago, that are no more in vogue. There are many products that some of us would have sold some years back that if we even mention it now, people will be looking at us funny and like, hey, so you ever did that? And that's because times are changing and we must be adaptable to this change so that we are always relevant to our customers and even to the economy at large. The last point here I have is stay agile and resilient. Monitor the economic trends. Again, let's be current. Let's know what is going on in the news. Let's stay up to date on what is happening. Have different focus groups whereby we can get latest advice, latest news, and think how does that impact my business. Yes, I've heard the news. It's not enough to just hear the news. How does this news impact my business? We've spoken about having multiple suppliers, not relying on one, and adopting technology as much as possible. So, like Bola, where we met him earlier, now his quote has changed. Business risk is not a small thing, he said. But if you plan well and know your business, you will surely thrive. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope I've been able to educate us and planted some seed to see our business differently and the things we can even improve as business owners. See you at the top. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Adekunle. That was a very packed session, and I'm very sure our participants can attest to that. Please, can we show appreciation to our facilitator in the chat box? Please show our appreciation to the facilitator in the chat box. So just before going to the Q&A session, please have launched, there's a poll that's been launched on your screen. Please kindly fill this poll, as this will help us serve you better. We look forward to hearing from you, which is why this poll has been launched. We'll be launching two different polls. This is the first of the two, and we'll be launching the second very soon. So please, if we know that we have questions, can we just use the raise hand icon, because this is a business, an advisory session, and this is an interactive session. So we'd love to hear your questions so that our facilitator can take your questions. For those that would like recording of this session, you can go to our YouTube channel. You can go to our YouTube channel at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and you'll find the recording there. So I think while you were speaking, there are some questions that were dropped in the chat box. So I'll be reading them while we wait for the others to use the icon to ask their questions. So Damilola is asking, what about risks specific to service provision, especially when one is trying to upscale from being a sole proprietor, a sole proprietorship, a sole proprietorship. It has a different dynamic as compared to sales of goods.
Sorry, I didn't get
So
the
I think
question.
person's asking what is the risk specific to service provision? That's those that provide services.
Okay.
And she's asking that, especially when one is trying to upscale from being a sole proprietorship, she's saying that it has a different, because it has a different dynamics
Yeah.
compared to sales of goods.
Yeah. So that is true. So service has a different dynamics, but for us to even know the risk you face, it goes back to the basics. What is your business? What are you selling, or what service are you providing? Then based on that, you can now distill, okay, what are the things that if it happens today is going to impact my business negatively. So on top of my, I don't have any example, but if you can just share what service you're offering, then we can just talk about it. But it goes back to knowing your business and understanding the dynamics of what you actually do and how it would impact your business on a broader scale.
Okay, Damilola, you have your hands raised. You can unmute and ask.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good
So
afternoon.
I'm a physiotherapist, and I know when I started, oh, you were a marketer, you were a digital content creator, you are still physiotherapist, you are doing everything, and then at some point you become the face of the business, and then and you've built the clientele and all that. But then when it's getting to a point where you then need to scale up, and things like, okay, you can't go in there, maybe you negotiated the price or something, the person that then goes would now plan to see, like, to follow up with the patient on a low key, just things like that. And then if you're trying to do it on your own, you probably won't be able to manage if you have increased your client bases. But at the same time, when you do employ people to, like, to share the workload and stuff, it can be a bit tricky because unlike goods where you can say I bought five things, I sold three, remains, two. This one is, somebody can come in, you might not be there. The person will negotiate at your back, or your things like that. So it's more like maybe not even the risk, because I've seen a couple of risks. It's more like how to mitigate them.
Okay, thank you very much. So
Thank you.
this is where leveraging technology as a risk management tool comes. So yes, you have salespeople, you have people that are working with you. How do you leverage technology to ensure that at every point in time you are in full knowledge of what is going on? So, say for example, you have a price list whereby everybody that comes in knows your standard price list, and anything below is going to it will be frowned out. You can also have record books. You can have you can even have CCTV, whereby you are able to record and see the interactions between what is happening in the store and what is actually being recorded by your employees, and continual spot checks. So, for example, there was a time whereby I was working at a particular organization and a service also, and they just do random spot check. So you can just send a friend that nobody knows and send the person to the shop and say, okay, go and even do this thing and hear what they say, how the interaction goes. This gives you an insight into how your employees are actually even performing when you are not there. Second, and closely related to, is also training. We must be able to train our employees and model to them how the business should run and how they should behave on the job at every point in time. Yes, I know it's difficult. I know it's easier said than done, but finding ways whereby we can build that level of trust within the team, build that level of leadership accountability. What are the standards that we are setting, even as business people? What are the structures that you have in place? Even as service providers, we must have structures whereby if there's a non-compliance with a structure or with a rule, there's a strict penalty to that. So all this will also help us. There is really no one best solution to address all this, but first is just which technology can you leverage so that people are aware of what is going on, um, and that will also help you as you scale your business. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Adekunle, for answering that question. And I'm very sure, Dami, that your question was answered. So I have a question here. And the question is, the part I'm interested in most is when you're operating in a rental apartment and the landlord keeps increasing the rent annually. How can one cope or adjust to this situation?
Okay. So how can one cope? So what are you selling? And is it possible that you move your marketplace to a digital to make it more digital? There are many ways of managing costs. Yes, it's a thing now where even for those that are not doing businesses in shops, even for you living on your day to day to rest your head, the landlord keeps coming back with new rents every day. So rather than paying rent for your shop and paying rent again for the business, is your business can your business be done at home? Can you get your market to to the social to using technology? So can you market online? Is it possible to reach out to your customer base through either Telegram, WhatsApp, YouTube, or any other means available? Also, if we also now need to do a proper cost and cost and benefit analysis. As business people, if the business is not able to pay for its operations, then we want to rethink the business, or we want to rethink the cost. So if I'm doing a business in a shop and the shop is say 1 million naira, for example, but on a very good day, in a very good month, or in a very good year, I'm making 900,000, then something is wrong. I want to now go back and look at, okay, is it possible for me to get another market, shop, a shop or a house that would be able to come into sufficiently manage my costs so that I do not spend all the monies I'm making plus loans and extra money from family and friends just to pay one bill on the book. So we want to look at that. And if that shop is the best that we think is good for us, then can we add more to what the shop is currently doing? So if I'm selling a particular good or offering a particular service in that location, can I add other services so that while the main business is bringing in 800,000 per annum, the other one is bringing a 300,000 per annum, and we're able to manage it. Again, it goes back to looking at our costs. Are these costs really important? Are there ways we can do without them? Are there ways we can, instead of bearing this cost, look for better solutions out there? There are many solutions that the market is offering based on the changing times, driven by technology. We have solutions that are basically a marketplace where different people that want to buy different things just come and they do what they get the good they want to buy and it's delivered to them. So we need to really rethink how we are doing business as business people, and that would now help. Okay, after looking at what is possible given technology, given the times we are in, given the cost, what can I do without? Do I need to have this store this big? Okay, if I must have it, what can I add to the store so that it is not just me selling X, but I'm now able to sell X, Y, Z, and even add A on it. So I think that would also help because we really cannot control what the landlords do. We really cannot control how they behave. But what we can control as business people is how we run our business and how we are able to position our businesses for greater impact. And if it's something that we can increase our costs marginally so that we do not now go out of, we do not price ourselves out of business, then it's something to also consider. But it's the whole 9 yards to be able to come to a good decision. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adetunde, for that. I hope your question was answered. I have another question here from Eka Obot, and is asking, at what point should a company go for a loan?
Okay. So what phase is the company at is where we would want to start from, and why are we getting this loan? Businesses are in different phases, and as business owners, we know when a particular phase of the business has expired or has wind down, or we need to expand. So taking loans for business expansion, so you want to open another store or you want to improve your inventory from a 500,000 to a 1 million, for example, is what you're taking a loan for. But you must always ensure that you have the market for what you want to do. You do not want to have goods that there's nobody asking you for. So understand the business journey. Where are you now as a business person? What is the market around you saying? So say for example, if you are selling just, if you are a normal person, small store selling in a developmental area, for example, you might be fine with just what you're selling, but it gets to a point where the area starts to open up. You want to start adding more things to it. You want to expand your shop a little bigger. You want to get more people. You want to get a salesperson. You want to improve the goods that you have. Also, paying attention to what people are asking for, paying attention to the demographics around you also helps you to know, okay, yes, I need to move up. If you've been selling in a month, constantly over a period, you've been selling 2 items per day a month, and you've gotten to a point where now people are now asking you for 4, asking you for 5, then it's time to scale up because more markets is now there for you to take full advantage of. So I think I would leave it at that. Understand your market, understand the phase in which you are as a business, and understanding the demand that is coming. If you're having more demand for your product, then it's time to scale up. If you're having less demand for your product, then it's time for you to start to look at winding it down because the demand for that product is going out of demand. So I'll leave it at that for now.
Thank you so much, Adekunle. I hope your question was answered, Robert. So before we go to the next question, please, the second poll has been launched. Please kindly help fill the poll. This goes a long way in helping us serve you better. So please fill the second poll that has been launched on your screen. Thank you. Lady AY, please, you have a question. You can go ahead and unmute to ask your question.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I
Good
just want
afternoon.
to, us to have this discourse. I'm into agribusiness and I sell coated peanut. So last year, actually, I was thinking I was making some money, until I did my numbers at the end of the year. I realized that I'm making it from my kitchen, have my NAFDAC approval and all that. But I'm thinking of scaling my business to get a premises outside because I cannot bring people into my house. So I needed to rent a place. So I decided to do my numbers and I discovered that actually we made roughly 2 million last year. But out of that 2 million, expenses was about 1.5, 1.6 million. Most of it went on oiling and NAFDAC because I wanted to introduce new pack sizes. So in fact, what they asked us to bring, I spent almost 150,000 just for more than that. We spent almost 200,000 on bringing samples alone. You understand? And then fuel and all that. So, but when I went out to see where I can get a space, they are telling me that renting a space now, just maybe even if I just want like a 2-bedroom, is about 2.5 million, and they're going to collect for 2 years. So I'm looking at it like now, even that 2 million we made, we were working round the clock. Sometimes I'll sleep around 2 a.m. to produce, and all that. And eventually everything is being wiped off by fueling and all these costs. So I'm looking at it, how can I really scale my business? Because is it that I'll continue to make in my house and I will not be able to scale? Or how do I be able to, because if I'm making what I made, like to me, the profit was around 500,000. If I want to pay for a space of 2.5, that means I have to work 5 times more. Why is that possible if I can't employ people? So I don't know what you can advise in this situation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lady AY. So I missed the earlier part of your question.
Okay, I was saying that
So yes. So,
I presently do my processing from my house.
okay, what do you process now?
Coated peanuts. Coated
Okay.
peanuts. Actually, people tell us we make the best peanuts in Lagos. All we need
Oh,
is visibility. So, but
okay.
now I was thinking, okay, let me scale my business because I cannot bring in people into my house. I need to
Yeah.
employ people. So I wanted to get a space to start processing. So when I went around, they said the best I can get is around 2.5 million for a 2-bedroom. But even if I want to, because I was thinking of warehouse, they say warehouse is around 4 million for a year.
Yeah.
So, but when we calculated our whatever last year, it was just 2 million. I was even thinking I was making more until I calculated everything. I saw that expenses are about 1.5 million. And so I just look at it that
Wow.
you now, how will I be able to pay for the rent and talk
Mhm.
less of if I employ people? Because even at that, Like now, I'm the only one doing the business. I cannot
Okay.
even make up to 50,000 per month from my calculations. I made like 40 something by the time we remove expenses, and I'm walking around around the clock.
Yeah.
So how do we mitigate such?
Okay. So it's a part one, and it's again one of the major issues facing business owners at this time, which is cost. So you mentioned that you make one of the best peanuts in the states, right? So first, I would say, what is your production capacity currently at home?
Yeah, my
Yeah,
production
and
capacity. Okay. I thought wanted me to
okay, go
respond.
on, please.
Okay, for
No, go on, please,
now,
go on.
on my own, because I'm still doing it manually, I can
Okay,
produce like in a day, I can produce like 44 packs in a day. 44. Then,
okay,
but I can't
okay.
produce every day because I'm
You can't put, yeah.
dieting.
Okay,
So maximum I'll be able to produce should be like in a week, maybe 150. That's what I
okay,
feel I can do.
okay. And that is just only you.
Only me, yes.
Okay. So is there a way that, because you say they are doing it manually, is there a way you can get, again, still using your current production location, which is your house, is there a way you can get, say, a machine? So you know the industry better. Is there a way you can get a machine that will help you, instead of making 44 in a day, you are able to make more numbers in a day? Is that,
Yeah,
have you
yeah,
considered
there are
that?
machines. Yeah, there are machines that I can
Mhm.
use, but they are also
Okay.
capital intensive too. Besides, the problem is where will I put them? They are big. Do you
Okay,
understand?
they also be okay.
So you can't bring such into your house, and then the noise and everything, you'll be disturbing your neighbors and all that. So those are the considerations. Then apart from that, yes, one can say one wants to increase capacity. Another bottleneck is getting into supermarkets. I've
Yeah,
been to some, I don't mention names, but there
okay.
are bureaucracies. They will not take your product, or maybe you give them this is the price that works with you. They will be telling you to beat it down to an all sustainable price. Do you
Mm,
understand? So you can't
true. Yeah.
even penetrate. They have been going. They are not taking you. What do you do?
So instead of going to the big boys that are already proud in quotes, why not just go to the mummies down the street that just want to sell, or to sell to passerbys, or you can position your business so that you have people selling around schools. I know that again, growing up and even seeing my neighbors kids and all that, they buy things as they go to school. So maybe close to the school, or if you can have a sort of collaboration, that's the word, with school owners. It's okay, yes. Maybe during your break times, if you guys sell this, I can supply you so that you have a ready market and not just rely on the supermarkets and the big guys. Over time, when these supermarkets and the big guys see that okay, this brand is really a brand that we shouldn't play with, then they come to your doorstep looking for you. So the advice from my own end will be not to incur those costs right now, given one, the production capacity might not be able to pay for those rents, because you do not want to. So, say for example, you get a facility that you're able to pay for the rent and you're able to get this. You be sure that after this investment, the capacity of the business must be able to pay back and sustain the business. So that is something I would suggest. So yes, I will not advise you to bring strangers to your house, but um, if there's a way that you can increase your production capacity, then you leverage your neighborhood, you leverage schools, as I've said, the small stores that are just coming up that still need produce. Because trust me, if your product is very good and your price is good, because you are still a new entrant into the market, people would want to buy your product because it's still relatively cheap compared to the branded ones that are on the shelf. So you already have some sort of advantage. It's just for you to build that brand and find a way of telling that story so that the more people engage with your product, they say, okay, yes, I bought Lady AY's peanut and it's really good. And that way it keeps scaling. And also for one opportunity you can take advantage of is LSCTF and its access to market. We have a network of events whereby we give business owners the opportunity to display what they do. So that is another market for you. So that even by just coming and say, okay, I have this peanuts, this is how I process it. These are because another thing that people might be skeptical about is the hygiene and the production process. You want to highlight it and so that they know that yes, this is not just something that is done shabbily, but something that has been carefully done and with the highest standards in mind. So with that access to market from LSCTF, leveraging what we have, leveraging your environment, leveraging social media and pushing the brand, over time you'll get to a point as a business person whereby you can comfortably, well, maybe not comfortably, but the business has grown to a point whereby it can take that step. But for now, I will still say try to scale the business as much as you can, given the resources that you have right now, so that you do not run to a point whereby you are really struggling to maintain and manage the costs. Because those costs, yes, is 2.5 for 2 years, it will likely keep going up. So you want to be able to ensure that you are managing that as much as possible. So that would be my advice for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Lady AY. Please can you check your inbox? I dropped a message for you. So please check your inbox. So I have another
Responded,
question.
please.
Okay. So I have another question here that's asking, can one start a business with credit facility?
With credit facility, yes, you can, but you must have done a proper analysis of the business you want to start. Again, the credit facility has terms and conditions which you must understand. So if you are taking a loan and you have a monthly repayment obligation, you want to be able to identify and calculate to know that okay, yes, if I'm starting this um, hair salon business or this photocopying service business or whatever business it might be, I must be able to meet this obligation on the say 5th of the month. It's possible for us to start, but I will always advise let's start small and start gradually. So incremental progress is always better than just one-time progress. Again, as business people and even watching and reading the news and social media, we see businesses that that grow incrementally, being able to stay the test of time. But businesses that just come and go, they just come and is all over town. The next minute you don't see them again. Some we call them one-time wonders. They just come and they are all over the place, and you are like, "Where is this brand? I've not seen it again," and they're out of the market. So we want to be able to increase incrementally. So yes, you can take a facility to start a business, but it's important that you understand the business, you understand the dynamics of the business, you understand how to enter into that market and how to build your customer base. Do you even have a customer? So all those things are really important. If you want to start a business in a new site and there are no house in a developmental area and there's only one house in the whole of this place, then it's advisable not to start that business there yet. Not to start that business yet because you really don't have a market. But the moment you start to see developers coming in their drones, developing houses in mass, and you see people really uptaking that, then starting a business there, say starting fast a consumable business, selling consumables and essentials will be ideal because As that man coming into that estate is coming, is noticing that business that they are selling something. Instead of him to have to drive down many miles outside that environment, he just comes to your shop to buy it. So it's important for us to also understand the market and the dynamics of where we are. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Adekunle. I hope your question was answered. Kolawole, I hope your question was well answered. So I think, Mayoko, please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Please unmute and ask your question.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Ayoko.
Thank you, Mr. Adekunle, for the insightful session. My question is about the loan. Now, I've had few unpleasant experiences with Lagos State on this issue of loan. So
Okay.
my question here now is to find out, okay, what's the requirements for you to be able to access Lagos State employment fund
Loans,
loan?
right? Okay.
Because I will state the two experiences I've had
Expenses.
that has not
Yeah, I would like to.
experiences I've had that has not been so good, that
Okay.
really pained me to the core.
Wow.
The first one was there was a time there was a grant that was opened. We applied for that grant,
Okay.
and they even sent people to our place to come and investigate and do all the due diligence and everything. The person came, took every document, we provided all the documents they requested and everything. And he went, and the guy said, okay. After some time, I started calling him to follow up. So I keep hearing that just hold on, that government things is slow, just hold on. They will call you. And that was what we were on. Calling and saying, hearing, hold on, calling and hearing, hold on. Until well after how long? Well, maybe a year, sir. And I decided one day that, okay, let me even visit their office. So I went to their office to go and find out that, okay, what happened? On getting to the office, what I heard was that, oh, sorry, you came too late. Why did you not come out this way? Sorry, the loan is already late, so it's already closed. I was very disappointed because if I applied for something and you said I'm qualified for it, and I was
Yeah.
following up, if you require me to come to your office, I expected that a mail or the communication would be passed across. Nobody told me
Yeah.
I needed to come. I did not. Even the day I went, it was because I was passing that area. Just decided that, okay, let me even enter this place. I even find out what is going on with this grant.
Yeah.
That was how that went. It hurt. I felt bad that day. That how could they do that? I left that. That was the first experience. The second
Okay.
experience, 2022 November, I applied for a loan, 5 million. And I remember immediately I applied for that loan. And the message I got was the loan was closing that week. They are closing their quarter. I apply now. Everybody that apply, they will make sure they attend to them that year before they close the quarter.
The portal.
I rushed up, I applied, there was a number to call. I called the woman, we spoke. The woman said, if you have everything, quickly put in your application. I did. Since 2022 November, I was on this loan, going back and forth. Every document they require from us, we supply them. By 2023, we're like, okay, we have given out everything. You have come for inspection. You have done everything. We have provided all the documentation. So they told us to wait for our what do they call the letter now?
Offer letter. Offer
Offer
letter.
letter. God bless you. That we should wait for our offer letter. So we kept waiting. 2023, we kept waiting. The election came. The session, I was calling as I was waiting, calling, finding out. So that it is election period. Maybe that's why, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we kept waiting. After election came and gone, we called again. They said, you know that it is government thing is slow. Maybe that's why they will soon start what's it called? Disbursing. You will get your offer letter. And I was like that. 2023 was going almost to the end. 1 year has passed over this thing. Eventually, they will, at interval, they will send the message that go to your portal, upload another set of documents, your latest statement of account. We will go there, we will upload it. They will say, okay, they want to do verification again. They verified us for like almost 3 times.
Wow.
Eventually, they called us to pick up the offer letter at Lagos, Ikeja local government. We picked up the offer letter. We signed, we did everything. After we picked up the offer letter, we signed and we did everything. Another 3 months passed. We did not hear anything again. That was like April. By maybe this was like July or something. Now we have entered 2024. This was a loan I started the process in November 2022. Now we have entered 2024. They eventually called us for the offer letter and we submitted everything. Later they called back again after we submitted. They said the name on the business name and CAC is different. I wrote Mickey Metals and calling that, and the one I used sign. I should come and correct it. I went back to local government, Ikeja local government, made the correction, and we were waiting. Until September last year. We got a call that, okay, go and pay your
equity.
Your equity contribution. The same day, that was September 9. We made that payment that same day. And after that September 9, that was the end. Nothing was happening again. I wasn't hearing anything again. So by December 2024, this was a loan started in November 2022. This was well over 2 years. So by November 2024, December 2024, I went back to their office to follow up on the loan. And on getting there, I was surprised at what I was hearing. I was like, okay, where have you been? I said I've even paid this equity contribution since 9th of September. You're asking me where have I been? That because it's been long, they have to verify us again. I was disappointed.
So this was at the Ikeja local government?
Yeah, no. I went back to the office as Billings Way. Ikeja local government was where they sent the offer letter for me to pick and to drop. And before I went to Billings Way, their office, they said I called local government, Ikeja local government. The lady was shocked that have they not given me the money? I said I've not gotten it all. Because I submitted that offer letter like April last year. This was December. She now said, okay, maybe I should go to the head office. That was why I went to Billings Way in that December. And it was when I got to Billings Way, they were telling me that, okay, the thing is that it's been long. I said, this was I said, they said, when did I even pay the equity company? I said 9th of September, when the lady called me to go and pay, I paid immediately and I sent her the payment advice on our WhatsApp because that was the instruction she gave me. And they said, okay, they will look into it. But as it is now, it's been long again. So they need to verify us again. I said, the loan life started in 2022. You are verifying me again at December 2024. When you have verified me like almost 3 times, I've given everything you requested. I've paid even my equity contribution. That day, I was like, the man, I was like, do you know I have the power to tell them to give you this loan or not to give you this loan? Madam, you have to come back. And I said, okay, no problem. I know you have power. I don't need this loan again. Just return my equity contribution. I'm not interested. And that was how I ended that loan. The equity contribution, I just got it in February. Eventually, that they returned my money. So I just want to know, it pained me. I felt hurt. I felt bad. Because this is a Lagos State that you post to us that, okay, easy, just come once you have your document. There was nothing they required of us that we did not give. If we did not meet their requirement, they will not give us offer letter. They will not call us to go and pay equity contribution. So what now happened?
Okay. So
now you talk about it that if you want to scale on, we give loan. And I'm like, okay, let me ask, what is this that is the actual requirement?
Okay. So I will first start with on behalf of LSCTF, apologizing for the experience because it's not a good experience. And for us to be able to ensure that we are meeting and doing our mandate, it's important that our everyone that comes in contact with us is happy. As I said during the presentation, the customers are the heart of everything. So you and every other person that reaches out or we are able to help in your journeys are all our customers. And if we don't have you, then there's nothing that we are doing here. So, uh, so what are the requirements? So the requirements are basically having a bank statement, having but for us in LSCTF, we want to see your 6 months bank statement. If you're applying for an SME loan, which is loans above 500,000, we want to see your CAC. In addition, we want your LASRA just to confirm that you are a resident of Lagos State. That they are residents in Lagos State, and even if you are not a Lagosian by birth, but at least you are doing your business and you're living here. So, in addition to ID cards and other documentations. But over the years, LSCTF has also had to evolve. So, there was a time when it was taking us a long time to get these loans disbursed. And that's because as every business go through their own different phases of development and growth, LSCTF too was going through that. So yes, I would apologize that for the timeline it took for you to get your loan. But I can assure you now that if you apply for our loans, it's not going to take 2 years. Never. It won't take 2 years. It's going to take a max of 1.5 months. And 1.5 months is because we still have things that we need to do to verify and this. So, for example, we have people that we have to rely on to get those reports. So, you were verified by a particular set of people who are like our vendors. So we give them these names to help us go verify this person and the business. Also, another reason why it takes so long is if we don't have the complete documents. We have some, maybe not your humble self now, but we have seen applications that come in and they are not complete, and we're asking, okay, give us this. They give us that, and it's still not meeting the standard that we've set and we've communicated. So this back and forth actually causes that to happen. But for applicants that have their complete documents, so complete documents now means you have your bank statement, you have your IDs, so LASRA, you have your CAC if you are applying for SME, you have your business information, you have everything that is required. You are going to get your loan in less than 2 months. You understand, ma? And we are evolving as a fund to ensure that we keep growing. We know that there are people in the market now that are giving loans in less than a month, but for us, we've not grown to that stage. But it's something that we're looking to do so that if you apply for your loan on the 1st of January, before the end of that month, or even before 3 weeks, we are calling you to come and take your offer letter. And even in less than 24 hours of submitting your offer letters, you are able to get your loans immediately. So these are some of the things that we are doing. So I can assure you, Ma, and I'm imploring that you please reapply if you are still in need of the loan. Reapply, and we would ensure that you
I
get it
said
in
that they
record time.
don't want to give us, so me, I said they will not give us.
No,
That's why
no.
they did not
So
start. And
so
maybe
that
there are
is
some
so
people
that
they
is
give.
no. So
That's
that
my
notion
conclusion.
is. And another notion that we're also trying to correct is that because it's government, it takes forever. Yes, we know that perception has lingered for a very long time, even beyond LSCTF, but it's something that we're looking to change. So that if you engage with LSCTF, if we tell you that we're going to do something for you, and we tell you we'll do it in 48 hours, we're going to keep our word and do it in that time. And if there's any reason why we cannot, then the responsibility is on us to now communicate and tell you, based on XYZ, we'll not be able to do this, but we are showing you that we are looking to it to ensure that we do it by this time, so that that communication is there, proper communication, proper feedback, and open interaction. So yes, another reason why some people might not get the loan, because I was going through the chat and I was saying that I've been declined multiple times, is because of bad credit. And during my presentation, I made mention that it's important for us to maintain a good credit with both people that are coming to buy from us and even people that we are taking credit from. We've seen instances which is quite unfortunate and painful. We see instances whereby the business is thriving, the business is good. We can affordably give this business 5 million naira. The bank statement and the business dynamics is LD, but just one problem. The person has taken a loan from somebody and did not pay back. And we're like, how would you do this to yourself? All you needed to do was pay back that man as at when you were meant to pay him back. And because of this, we see a lot of people being declined. Some will say that, but I've paid them, I'm not owing them. Oh. But the record shows that that is not the case. So I'm using this opportunity again to tell us that when we take loans from different financial institutions, every institution in the country is mandated to provide a report on everybody that has taken loan from them, and this report is updated monthly. So please let's go back to our financial institutions or financiers that please did you put me on this? Did you report me that I took a loan? If you did, please update that I finished paying, so that if I go to LSCTF or go to another place, they'll not tell me that I'm still owing you. So this also is part of what we've seen that is causing many people to be declined. So if you fall in the bucket of I finished paying, but you are saying I'm owing, then I would advise that we go back to those institutions that we took facilities from in the past, and request that they update it, so that when you come to LSCTF, we are seeing a true position of what is actually happening and not a false positive. So thank you. So please, please reapply, and I'm assuring you that you are going to get the loan in record time, and not 2 years. But if you do not need the loan, honestly, then please, we hope that we can have a profitable engagement whereby you can enjoy our service, and we can gradually change the perception that you already have and make the experience a worthwhile one for you and your business. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayoko. I hope your questions were answered. And just like Adekunle said, um, we hope you'd give us another chance and you'd apply for our loan facility. And just like you said, you won't have to wait 2 years this time around. So we apologize for the earlier experience, and um, we are assuring you that it won't be like the last time. So I have another question here from Loretta, and she's asking that she's a school owner, she's running a crèche and a nursery. Our rent was 700,000 before, and automatically it increased to 1.5 million. Now, getting another apartment around is difficult because all are saying the same thing. What can she do?
So is it possible to, so different things, is it possible to increase your cost marginally? Is it possible to increase your capacity? So say you have more kids coming, as that is if you have the space. If you have the space, it's something you should consider. Is it possible that instead of just the crutch, you start to sell baby items that the parents of these children, yes, we need? So they come to your crutch and they see a very beautiful corner where they can buy items for their kids. They might not buy it the first time, but it will register in their head that in my child's they have this, they have that. Okay, I'll just, if I'm dropping her, I'll just tell them to add this and I'll buy it from them. So something like that. It's just for us to maximize the opportunities around. So looking for a new location, as you said, is expensive, and it also comes, even if it's cheaper, it may also come with its own risk, because if a parent is comfortable with moving his child there because of the distance and because of the cost of transporting, taking them further away may actually affect your customer. So I will say on top of my head now, do you have space you can maximize? If yes, try and see if you can get more kids. Do you have space whereby you can just put up a baby item shop or store, whereby as the parents are coming in, they are saying that they can buy this for their child, they can buy this for, and just something that keeps them coming back to you. And if there are other costs that you can reduce that would help you also manage the rent, then it's something to consider. Again, it's hard to do business given the continual increase in cost, especially of infrastructure. But just for us to look at our cost and see what can we reduce so that we can accommodate the extra on the rent. And just, it's almost like a check and balance. You are just having to sieve through and see what you can really do in order to increase your profit as a business, maintain and even ensure that you have people coming back. So that is something I'm going to advise. Maximize your current space, get merchandise that you can bring in that will appeal to the parents, and other things that will appeal so that people coming back. So I'm picking my child, I'm also buying something. That is multiple stream of income, if I can put it that way. And different things that you can do to also help manage your costs. Another thing that can be helpful, but also, and this is just thinking about it, if we can also reduce as business owners, if we can find a way of reducing our cost on power, yes, that will sound really how. And there are different solutions in the market. All we need to do is ask, whereby we can get a renewable energy solution, whereby instead of having to pay the heavy bills to NEPA and not get light and still have to run a generator for even more than the times that we have light, is something that we can consider investing in renewable energy. It does two things for us. It saves us on the cost of having to buy fuel and service our generating engine. And it also helps us to, even to an extent, be prideful towards NEPA, if I can put it that way, so that we have our costs settled on that end. So we're not having to run to buy fuel or pray that the fuel stations or the people in the fuel value chain don't increase the fuel that now impacts us or whatever that can be. So it's important for us to also look at that. So that would be my advice for now.
Hey, Loretta, I'm very sure you've heard from our facilitator. Find an alternative, uh, multiple streams of income. Try and maximize the space that you have. So so as to help with the other costs that you're trying to keep up with. For Amina that is asking how you can have access to our loans, you can walk into any of our local governments, walk into any of the local government close to you. I don't know what local government you're at. So well, please just walk into any local government close to you. Like I said earlier when I started this session, we are in all 20 local governments and 6 LCDAs. So please do walk into any of the local governments and our officers there will attend to you. Um, so I think all the loan questions have been answered. So someone is asking which of the statements of account are we presenting? CAC registered account statement or bank statement. I think that's your personal bank statement for those that are applying for the loan.
Yeah, so for those applying for the loans, especially those applying for loans less than 500,000, is your personal bank statement. But if you have your business bank statement, by all means, we'll accept it. But for business owners that are applying for 500,000 and above, we assume that at this stage of your business circle, into a level of maturity that you have a CAC certificate. So it also is important that we have your business account number, because for you to have CSC and all those structure, you must have a business account. So your business account is very important. We've seen given the rise of the fintechs that helps in savings and managing our fund, the likes of Ope Pampe and the likes, we have observed that many businesses are migrating their accounts there and making that their business account. That is also welcomed, but just ensure that those accounts are the accounts that you use to run your business on a daily basis. Because, as we said, this is the foundational stone for us to determine if we can give you the 5 million naira that you have requested, or if we're going to give you something far less. So I saw something that Lady AY said about building hubs where sellers, yes, it's something that we're considering, to have hubs. And hubs in this instance is just having a space whereby sellers and buyers come together to interact. So one that we have currently is a fashion hub. And what is that? What is that? It's just, so we have a hub where we have different beauty products, beauty equipment, and spaces. So I'm an hairdresser. I go to this hub. I don't have to worry about rent. I don't have to worry about lights. I don't have to worry about anything. All I'm worrying about is I can make the hair, and I have a customer that wants to make hair. So I take my customer to the hub, make the hair, the customer pays me, then you pay the hub managers a fee. So we have that going currently for Beauty Hub. It's something that we're looking to scale and to partner with different individuals, organizations, so that we have, as we have for Beauty Hub, we have for Fashion Hub, we have for even Lady AY that is into manufacturing of some sort of food items and all that. We have these hubs whereby you can just step in, utilize the equipment there, make your products, package it there, then at the end of the day, sell it, and you pay the hub managers a fee based on whatever is agreed. It's something that we're looking to do. It's a long-term project. It's something that is on our mind, but for now we've not gotten there. But eventually, it's something that we look to implement. We have currently, as I said, the beauty hub. So with that, we are going to increase it further. Yeah, beauty and spa. I think they are in the same same bucket. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Adekunle, for taking out time from your busy schedule to attend to our participants today. So please, can we show our appreciation to our facilitator in the chat box? I can see that we have no more questions. So please, can we show appreciation to the facilitator in the chat box? Appreciate him for coming today. So for Oluwadamilare, you're saying that you have a pending loan application. So please be rest assured that if you have a pending loan application, it will definitely be attended to. I don't know what your chat box, your dashboard is saying, but please do check your dashboard and just please be patient. You'll be attended to. So radically, we have a lot of people really appreciating you in the chat box, telling you thank you. So on behalf of the business opportunity, we'd like to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. We know that you have a really tight schedule, and you taking out time to take this session can see that a lot of people learn people learned a lot from this particular session. So for those that might have missed, or maybe you didn't start from the beginning with us, you can go to our YouTube channel at Lagos State Employment Trust Fund on YouTube to, go through the sessions all over again and, learn from this session. So for those of us that are in the Ibeju Lekki area, you can, or you are all around Lagos State, we have a program ongoing right now, which is the MSME Bootcamp. So you can go to our social media pages and be on the lookout for the link and apply for the MSME Bootcamp that is presently ongoing. We're presently having our second cohort presently at Oshodi Solo. So for those that we are going next to Ibeju Lekki, so if you're in Ibeju Lekki and its environs and you'd like to participate in the MSME Bootcamp, you can go ahead to register for the session. So like I said when we started the session, thank you so much everyone for turning up today for today's session. I'm very sure you would agree with me that today was a very packed session and we learned a lot from today's session. So if you'd like to join us again to learn more, you can join us for our next session, for our next upcoming session. So just follow us on all our social media platforms. We'll be having our masterclass. I think that should be next week. So we'll be having a masterclass on we're having a masterclass on the 11th, which is a marketing session. So please do well to follow us. Oh, sorry, apologies. So we're having a masterclass that will be that'll be on the 20th, on 26th rather, on the 26th of March, and it will be using the right platform for content creation. So if you know that you'd like to learn more about using the right platform for content creation for your businesses, while our facilitator was speaking earlier, he was speaking about using technology, being tech savvy for your business, trying to, spread your wings and trying to use the technology for your business. So if you'd like to learn more, you can join the session. Please be on the lookout. Follow us on all our social media platforms as the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on X. So please do follow us on all social media platforms. Turn on your post notifications so that when opportunities arise, you don't miss out on any one of them. So like I said earlier, thank you so much everyone for joining our session today, and we look forward to seeing you at our next session on the 26th of March 2025. So thank you so much everyone, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much, Adekunle.
Thank you very much, Dayo, and thank you everyone for your participation. We look to hear about your great success in future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.